Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight I'm going to speak about a few topics on my life and what I've learned in the past 5 years. From when I came in here, what I did in the past doesn't really matter. I don't really like speaking about those things, but it is one of those things that have to be talked about because it gives me reason to carry on with what I'm saying. And I think I'd like to start off by saying that without RAEL and without Mr. Hall and Kurt and everybody that's helped me at RAEL, I wouldn't be the person I am today. And obviously, support of my family. How's it, Adrian and Andrew? Two guys that were here also, and that are having a success. Um, yeah, what I've noticed lately is the lack of parents being a bit firmer on their children. Like the children, as I say children, let me say youth. The youth of today is just like walking over their children. One time they they just they just walk over their parents. Sorry, they walk right over their parents and they get what they want. They say what they want and they do what they want. And the parents must just, I don't know, they children. And I can speak on a lot of people that I've noticed doing these things, man. And how is it really nice of us to walk over our parents like that? We can ask ourselves, man. And I know everybody watching this video is probably sober or not an addict, or maybe has a problem with a family member or friend or whatever. But I'm just speaking from my point of view. And where I come from a beautiful family, as we all know. Got parents who love me very much, and I got a very good support structure, I believe. And I think where I messed up was I was very naughty, and and I like to do naughty things, but it doesn't justify any actions for me ending up where I ended up, because I knew the consequences. I knew what consequences were going to happen, and I have to face those consequences now as a man. Well, not anymore. I faced them, and now I am where I am today because I took it like a man, and I did my recovery, still doing it every day, and that's what it's about. You know? That's like I lost the desire to drink and drug a long time ago, and I parents or family members as a scapegoat, or use them and abuse them and things like that, because I don't think that's fair. I don't want to make trouble for them. I did my own drugs, and I faced my own consequences. I didn't blame anybody or make up stories to why I ended up being a drug addict. It was meant to be, and what is meant to be now is me to stay sober, and that's what I'm busy doing. I live a sober life now. I got a beautiful girlfriend and a beautiful support structure that everybody had a support structure like what I have, and maybe the bit of willingness that I got. You're not going to use drugs or drink again. That I can guarantee you. Maybe that sounds a bit arrogant, but that's just my point on it. I really am not going to go down that same road that I was once upon a time on, because do we ultimately really want to live that life, man? Of constantly having to look over your shoulders and and like having physical pains from withdrawal. Like I don't smoke for that to happen again. That does for me. For me, that's not liquor. And yeah, like as we all know, I in from drugging, I ended up on the streets, and I didn't think much of it at the time. I just did what I had to do to survive, because I knew I could go home anytime, and drugging, and I didn't want to come right, so that prevented me from going home. And like I would it's kind of funny. Like I would have a perfect house that I could go to, but I would prefer sleeping on the streets and doing drugs and living that life, which, when you're in that state of mind, makes total sense. But now that you look back on it, it's actually insane. It's really insane. And I think to myself, these guys that I see come in and out of RAEL, I can't judge them, because I've never been in their shoes, and I've only been in my shoes. So I can't judge one for maybe running away or not wanting what I have, which 80% of the people do want what I have, if not more. If not, I'd say the percentage is even more. But are they willing to go the lengths that I? That's where it is. Are they willing to go to the same lengths that I went to? And I didn't get it easy at all. I didn't get it easy at all. I did what I had to do, and I accepted the consequences. And I am where I am today. I'm a qualified panel beater. I qualified at Woester Bakwerker, and I thank them from the bottom of my heart for the opportunity they gave me to change my life. And now I can start my own business, or I have started my own business. And with the help of Mr. Hall, Anthony, and everybody who has helped me, I am where I am today. This lockdown is also another tricky thing. I mean, my daughter just got born about 4.5 months ago, and I haven't seen much of her. It's not very nice, but I've accepted it, and luckily she's still young, so she won't these times. But her mom's taking strain because her mom misses me also. My girlfriend, she misses me a lot, and I just have to accept it. Just one of those things you have to accept. Because I want to be a law-abiding citizen now. You know what I mean? I don't want to be one of those skopt in die kas and say, nah, I'd rather do things my way. Because ultimately my way got me into rehab. Which, if I regret one bit, places changed my life for the best. And every see you who has succeeded in being here at RAEL, like I can think of a lot of guys now off the top names, but you all are doing so well, and I can congratulate every single person who has changed their lives. It's not about me. That's where humility comes in. I mean, humility is teachability, and teachability is willingness to learn. If you're not willing to learn and to give it a shot, you're never going to be humble, which stay sober. Because I suppose there's this mention that are the fundamentals of addiction recovery. It's like humility is one of them, for sure. And I struggled with that big time. I think that's one of everybody. Where how does one justify their humbleness? How does where do you realize where you're actually being humble? Well, in early recovery, I mean, you can't. But eventually it just falls into place, man, and your life falls into place, and you start realizing, hey, man, this is a much better way of living. I mean, I always tell the guys, excuse me, it's much easier living a life in recovery than living a life using drugs and scuttling for drugs and having to sell, rape, rob, and steal for drugs. If you weigh up your options, you got that scale, and you weigh up your options, and the heavier side is going to be the side with the drugs. The lighter side is a life in recovery. It's a much lighter. Let me say this: when I remember when I walked through the gates of RAEL, I just felt this tremendous amount of pressure off of my shoulders, and I just thought to myself, "Phew, so much relief." And I cold turkeyed from heroin. I used no meds, nothing. I cold turkeyed, and I'd say about 5 days before I came in here, I stayed at my cousin and my auntie and my uncle and wherever else without using. So I came into RAEL like 5 days clean. And obviously, I still had a lot of pain and physical withdrawals, as we all get. But I dealt with it, man. And I told myself, nah, this is it, Graeme. You done with all this. And hey, I haven't turned back once from there. I haven't turned back once. I just look forward and carry on looking forward. And my goals, you got to set goals in life, especially in addiction recovery. And I've accomplished every single one of my goals. And also, everything I've asked God for is given to me. Like, every single thing, man. Every single little thing, from the possessions I have to the feelings I feel to the people I surround myself with. He's given me it all, man. But not in my time. It's never in our time, man. We've got to be patient and just hope that He gives it to us, which He will, man. God always answers our prayers, man. Always. I'm yet to find a prayer that and that's because I'm a believer, man. I believe in God and I believe that He will give me everything that I want. And I'm a sinner also, I'm no angel. Don't get me wrong here. I'm not speaking from being an angel. I'm very naughty, and you guys know me. I'm no angel. And I don't proclaim to be one at all. I'd rather let people know me for who I am. And that's just that. If you don't like me for who I am, I couldn't really care, to be quite honest with you. And whoever is listening. If you don't like me, you don't like me. That doesn't mean I'm not gonna like you. But if you don't like me, well, heart is for you. But I'm still gonna go to sleep at night. I mean, I'm still gonna go to sleep at night if you like me or not. And I think that's a bit of humility there. Yeah, guys, like, I don't know where to start, because I can only be grateful that I've been given this opportunity, and which thousands of people are still scurrying out there, hiding from the police, running from the police, in prison, out prison, been there, done that, man. And thank God I'm not there anymore. That's all I can say. I can thank God. And obviously the people He's put in my path, like Mr. Hall and Auntie Carden, and every single person that has played a part in my life, to the person I am today. And if it wasn't for these people, where would I be today? I ask myself that. Because I think a lot of people get the wrong view on people who own rehabs and things like that. It's not it's a place where Anthony saves lives, man. Where I save a life, where Kurt saves a life, where Adrian saves a life, where we all play a part in saving a life, man. And I think that's the difference between us and these pathetic 23 or 28 day rehabs where people just dry out. It's like a biltong room. After 3 weeks, you're ready to get eaten. Yeah, you don't get dried out. Yeah, it's a slow process. A slow process. I mean, I'm 5 years here now and I still don't feel ready. I'm ready, man. I can leave anytime, man, and I know I won't pick up. But something inside of me is still keeping here. And I respect that feeling. I believe it's the Holy Spirit telling me I must stay here as long as I want. As long as I have to. And I will. And nobody's, not one person on this earth is going to change that decision but myself. I don't want to go anywhere, man. I'm quite happy here. It's hard sometimes, like I said, because of my girlfriend and my family and my daughter. And Cape is in Cape Town and I'm here. So it is hard on me and my family. But it must get respected, man. Because I'd much rather be here and see them once every now and then than having to fight myself not to maybe pick up. I don't know what it feels like to leave a rehab, because I never left one yet. I don't know what it feels like that day comes where you're packing your stuff and you're ready to go. I don't know what it feels like. I don't know what a relapse feels like also, because I never relapsed. Touch wood. I don't know what it feels like. I did my drugs and my alcohol for solid 10 years. And when I was done, man. I was klar, finished for bay. It's time to come right. And that's what I've done, man. I've always been that type of person. If I put my mind to something, I do it. And I'm yet to keep my word to myself. And for the parents out there watching this, I think you guys need to be a bit more firm on your children, man. Like my parents were with me, like my family was with me, man. I mean, if I had to run away here and go do my thing, you think they're gonna accept me back into the house? There's no chance of that happening. The parents need to be a bit more firm on their children. That's I think that's a big part that plays a big part in somebody's recovery. Is the parents being a bit more hard on their children, and not like they always say, if you baby an addict, you bury an addict. And that's so true. If you baby an addict, you bury an addict. And I've seen it over and over and over and over. I've seen it over and over and over and over. And I've told many parents also through I can only speak on my experiences and what I've seen. And every time I see a child that gets enabled with exactly what he wants on his terms, he doesn't stay sober for very long. Which is, hey, it's a tough one, but that's what parents have to do. Parents just have to do that thing, man. I can only hope that this sinks into some parents' heads, and like they realize, hey, maybe I am enabling my son a bit, or my daughter a bit. Maybe I shouldn't do that, because trust me, that works. It works if you be a bit more firm and you say, hey, if you don't come right now, and you don't go to wherever you like. Okay, let's speak on the male behalf of the males. If you don't go to RAEL, do your time here. You at my house. Don't expect to walk into these doors. And that's what I think more parents need to do. Because after 3 months he feels right. I mean, he looks right, like a strong. But in here he's still fraught, man. I mean, I don't for 1 second believe it. No chance. Like after I'd say after 9 months I hit a wall. Well, we call it a wall here in recovery, where like you think to yourself, and I actually think it's called depression, man. It's all call it depression. You hit the state of depression where like everything, you just think everybody's against you, and you don't know where you're gonna end up, and life just gets extremely hard, man. Difficult, not hard, difficult. A rock is hard. Life just gets very difficult for you, and just too much to comprehend. But that's when you must just carry on, man, and realize, hey, it's just games being played in your head, man. Maybe the devil's tapping on your shoulder a bit harder than what he should, or you opening a door for him to tap on your shoulder. Because we open doors quickly, very quickly, without us even realizing. This world is not run by what we think is up, or what we think of, and things like that. There's a much higher hierarchy, I believe, that is running this world. That is probably watching me right now. To be quite honest with you, that's what I think. I mean, there's loopholes, and I heard some things from guys like, if you type in bomb on a message, it automatically, and they like read up all your messages and stuff like that, because of the terrorist attacks and things like that. Which I can't believe, I mean, technology today it's crazy. It's crazy what one can do over a cell phone. But enough of that, man. Let's get back to me and my story, because I only got a story of hope. A good background, parents divorced, split split family, all that type of stuff. And I went to high school, did high school. That's where my drugging started. I mean, I drugged straight through high school. I conned the teachers like you can't believe. Maybe they knew I was on drugs, I don't know, but I used drugs straight through high school. Straight through. I was even head boy of my board every single day. It wasn't even funny. And I did well on school. I really did well. Well, I could have done so much better if I wasn't high every day. But I thought being high would help me with my would help marks in school, and I suppose it did. I don't know, but I didn't do too badly on school, and I believe everybody believing that I was like this great boy. Meanwhile, I was fraught inside, man. I was rotten from a young age, man. And I was hiding this from everybody. I mean, nobody knew that I was using drugs besides the people I was using drugs with. And so I finished school, and then, the party scene and this and that, and you end up using all types of drugs, and eventually leads you to heroin, or your ultimate end up with tuck, heroin, buttons, whatever you preferred. Mine was heroin. And the more I used to use it, the further I would go down. And the further I'd go down, the more I'd use it. So I was like stuck in the cycle of addiction, because that I couldn't get out until one day I just gave up, man. And that's how but you just can't get out, man. And you tell yourself, man, you must come right, Graeme. You must come right, but you just can't, man. Because every time, the more you use, the more you need to use, if that makes sense. The more heroin I smoked, because I only smoked it, I didn't spike it. I only smoked it. Because the area I was in, they only smoked it. We didn't spike it. The more I smoked, the more sick I got. The more sick I got. Like I said, you get stuck in that cycle that you just can't get out. And yeah, eventually I got out of it, man. I got out of the last time I used. You must never forget the last time you used Allotarin. You must never forget the last time you used. And I don't forget mine. I'm not going to say where, how, and when it was, but it was on the 25th of June 2015 at about 9:15 at night. So on the 25th of May, or this month, I'm two months away from being 5 years clean. That's clean from no alcohol, no drugs, no nothing. That's 5 years solid sobriety. I can be proud of myself for that, because I smoked using drugs. I don't think anybody watching this knew me on drugs, but I was a terrorist. I did whatever I had to do to get my drugs, and I would do terrible things, man, to other people. Not physically to people, but I would like steal from people and hurt people also. Yes, hurt a lot of people, physically and mentally. I mean, I looked at my dad after. I mean, I ended up in Paulsmore. I came out of Paulsmore, and I didn't see my dad for a long time. And when I looked at him again, and I think I started crying, because he was grey. I could check. He was stressed, for both his children, me and my brother, both on drugs. Yes, and we put them through, even though we're not around them and we're not bothering them. They don't know where we are, and I think that they'd rather know where we are and deal with those types of problems than not know where we are, not know if we're eating, if we're sleeping, if we're standing. That puts a lot of stress on our parents. A lot. I can speak through experience. I put a lot of stress on my father. Where eventually he also, as a parent, because I didn't want to live under his or anybody's rules. I want to live my own life, man. Nobody's gonna tell me what I can and can't do. And I see it in these people today. Nobody can tell me what I can and can't do. Who's gonna tell me? I'm a grown man. Nobody gonna tell me what I can and can't do. And as soon as I changed that mindset, that's when I started coming right, man. That's when I started listening. And I mean, after 2 years being sober, you go home, and yet you still watch like a hawk. And you tell yourself, hey man, I'm 2 years sober. Why is this people watching me like this? Because they're still shit scared, man. That is why. They're still shit scared, man. They and I don't blame them. We can't blame them, man. We can't blame them for those actions. We can't. put it on ourselves, man. But I accepted it, man, and I stuck by the rules. I wasn't allowed to go out anyway. I couldn't even walk to the shop. I'm trying not to swear here. I'm doing quite well. I couldn't even walk down to the shop to buy myself like maybe a cigarette or whatever, without like having to. Hey, where you going? Why it take you so long? I just want to go buy a cigarette, or pack. And you accept that, man. Well, I accepted it. Let me put it that way. And I didn't skop in the cuss and say, hey, man, I've been 2 years sober, man. Why don't you people trust me? What more must I do to show you my trust? Trust takes a lot of time, man. And I remember, I think I was here for about 3 years, and I lied to Mr. Hall about something. What happened isn't really important, but I didn't tell the truth. And as I got into a lot of cuck for that, yo. But I faced the consequences, man. And that was, for me, it was a breaking point for me. I was either gonna face the consequences. I mean, I wasn't allowed to go see my girlfriend for 3 months. I mean, all my stuff got taken away, etc., etc., etc. And I bit the bullet, man, and I told myself, hey, man, I must learn from this now. Because there's one thing that I've taught myself, and that's to learn from other people's mistakes. Always try and do that. Always try and learn from other people's mistakes, man. Why did that relapse? Hey, this guy walks around with a Bible every single day, is the best prayer on the farm, etc., 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 but then he relapses. Who's he trying to fool, man? He's fooling himself. And me, I don't want to end up being that person. So I'd rather learn, because I don't want to make a fool of myself. I'd rather learn from your foolish ways. Not to judge anybody. It's just a learning method for me. And that's how I learned a lot of things. A lot of things. And now I can share those things, man. And I tell the guys here all the time, man, learn from other people's mistakes. But it's like trying to plant a seed in concrete that's set. Nothing. It's like throwing seeds on unfertile ground, man. Through the water, which is understandable. Those are still like drugged up, but eventually, after, that's why I say 3 months is not enough time. You got to accept 6 months, man. At least 6 months in solid recovery. 6 months to a year, then you got a slight chance of actually staying sober. Because me, I know maybe I can have a beer. I don't know. I'm not gonna test the theory because I know myself, and I'm gonna have one beer, maybe another beer, maybe another beer. Get too drunk. What am I gonna look? What's the first thing that's gonna get me sober? There's an upper like tuck or coke or cat or crack or whatever, and the only thing that's gonna, and then I'm back in that revolving cycle, and this time will be 7 times worse because each relapse is 7 times worse. It's proven over and over and over and over. Each relapse is 7 times worse. So if I must relapse now, yeah, I'll have to kill myself. I'll write myself off, but I won't. So don't worry, anybody. I'm not gonna pick up any drugs because I don't want to live that lifestyle anymore. I prefer living the lifestyle I'm living now. It's not always easy, but what lifestyle is always easy, man? If it was always easy, it would be very boring now, wouldn't it? Now without the drugs and then the alcohol. And yeah, I don't know what much more to say, but like maybe I've given somebody that bit of hope that needs hope right now. Because if I could stay sober and still stay sober and still work a program every day, then anybody can, man. Because if there was no hope given for me, I'm sure a lot of people thought, yeah, man, after 6 months, so it's just gonna carry on with these ways. But I told myself, nah, it's not gonna be like that at all. And I can thank myself for that, man. And I can thank my support structure again. You all know who you are. I don't want to mention our names because it's quite a long list of my support structure. But I can thank every single one of you guys. And for the people who believe in me, man. times where I didn't actually believe in myself and I wanted to give up. And there was that small little thing inside my head that said, don't give up, Graeme, and just carry on. Just carry on doing what you're doing. Because like I said earlier, nobody's going to tell me what to do. I'll do what I want to do on my terms, man. Even if there is consequences to it, I don't care. I do things on my way. And I had to change that. And I did. And now I listen, actually, before I just jump onto something. I'll ask for advice. And a lot of the times I do things my way and it works. But there's a lot of times where I need to make a decision, and I'd rather ask like Mr. Hall or somebody who's experienced these things now, because it's something I learned. If you're not sure what to do, rather ask somebody who's been down that road. And that's what I do now. I prefer asking somebody if I'm not too sure what to do or how to do it or where to get something or whatever the case may be, man. Rather ask somebody who has been down that road. And oh, Taryn, our plants are growing lovely, thank you. The things we planted, the grass, even everything is growing beautifully. Thank you very much. Yeah, like sobriety is a beautiful thing, man. It's much more beautiful and much more satisfying than living a life in active addiction. Because living a life in active addiction is not liquor, man. I mean, ultimately, what kick are you getting out of using drugs, man? You're gonna bleep all night on something, or lay half dead on a couch, or spit in a bucket, or do whatever you do when you're intoxicated. I mean, there's very little anybody can tell me about drug addiction. Very little. I mean, from being an actual drug addict to being 5 years sober now, I think I've learned quite a bit, and I hope I say, man. But I'm only as strong as my support structure, and I've got an extremely strong support structure. Even here at RAEL, man. Yeah, Mr. Hall and Kurt and everybody here, and the guys that have left, like Richie and Adrian, and all these guys that I've met along my path, all come and go, man. But I decided to just come and stay, because there's no life for me out there, man. As hard as it's for me to say that, there's nothing for me out in this big wide world, man. I thrive in a controlled environment. I do very well in a controlled environment. When I'm there, then I can't guarantee you what all I can get up to. So I'd rather stick to the controlled environment where I can be controlled. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's actually a very good way. But yeah, the advice I can give for the parents is, don't enable your children like I wasn't enabled. Do not do that, because that does not get your child sober. Tough love gets your child sober, man. And I know a lot of parents that are watching this now can shake their heads and agree. It's tough love. Deanie boy. Yeah, I'm not gonna go back to that life that I lived, and I want to carry on living the life that I am living now, which is much better for me and my family. And yeah, thank you very much. Enjoy your evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I love you all.